Welcome to English with Teacher. I'm Teacher. Today, I will be correcting grammar and conversation with my friend from Brazil. So please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Daniel. I'm 31 years old and I was born and raised here in Brazil.
Okay, when you say that, you say raise id. Okay? And it's raised. There's no I.
Raise it,
Raised.
raise,
Raised.
raise it,
No,
raise it.
no. See, you're saying raise id.
Oh, raised, raised.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Now there
Yeah.
are times, depending on what the base word ends in, like if the base word ends in a D, then you have to add ID on, right? Same as if
Yeah.
the base word ends in an S and you're adding ES, you have to say, um, like stress, you have to go stress is. You
Oh,
can, right? So you have to add the vowel sound in there to separate the two S's. And if the word ends in a D or T, you have to add that vowel sound in between to separate it, like you're doing, right? But you don't do it
yes.
all the time.
Yes, so it's raise it,
No,
raise it.
no, raised,
That's it. Raise it,
raised,
raise it,
no, raised.
raised,
Yeah,
raise it, raised, raised,
right.
raised. Oh, okay. I need to speak a little bit stronger
Well,
at the end of the word,
well,
right? Like raise the.
it's not the stronger part.
Oh,
It instead of saying like the way you're doing it, it sounds like raise ID. Like you're saying raise id, right? Now, if it ended in a T, you'd say dated, right? If it ended in a D, you'd say handed,
handed,
right?
handed.
Then your ID pronunciation is proper.
Oh,
Okay? But if
handed.
right,
Okay.
but if it ends in something like an S, you don't say you don't pronounce it ID, you just pronounce it D. So instead of handed, you go raised.
Raised,
Right,
raised, raised.
right.
Oh, it.
And you have the same thing with the letter S, right? When you're making something plural.
Oh,
So
so if I say like raise it, it's wrong, right?
right,
Raise it, it's not right.
right. That's
Oh,
correct.
okay. So I was saying this in the wrong way the whole time.
Well, you probably started saying adding the ed with words that ended in T or D. And like I said, that then you have to add it to distinguish the two sounds, right? Because if you have a word like hand, you can't just add, you can't say it normal because you have to distinguish hand from the D at the end. So you say hand id, right? So you put an IE sound in there, right? And you say handed.
Yes, handed, it's easy to pronounce for me. So handed, it's quite easy. But raise it, raise, raise, it's a little hard to
Well,
catch it.
and again, but see, you're trying to take the rule that's used in a word that ends in D and apply it to words that don't end in D.
Oh,
Okay, so
yes, there's a
there's
two
two
different
different
ways to pronounce.
right. There's
Oh,
two different rules depending on the sound of the root word. Okay, and like I said, it's the same with S, right? Like you say hands, right? But if the word ends in an S, you say like stress is, right? Same as the hand did. So you have to separate the S from the root word from the ES for the plural. You have to separate the D from the root word from the ED in the extended, right?
yes,
So
interesting. So there's two different ways to pronounce ed at the end of the word.
Right.
Okay.
And it depends on what the word ends in, the sound that the word ends in. Whether you pronounce the vowel or whether you just pronounce the sound of the D.
Yes, yes, this is really interesting.
Yes.
Yes, I really like those pronunciation tips. It helps me a lot to think more about the correct pronunciation. Yes.
Well, I often say that I'm glad I know English because English, the more I teach English, the more I realize that English is a very messed up language in a lot of ways.
You are right.
And it's like I'm glad I know English and I can teach it instead of having to learn it because I'd be so confused if I had to try to learn this. Because
Yes,
this is a
and if you
rule
are
except
saying
here.
this as a native, you cannot imagine for us using English as a second language. So
I
it's really complicated sometimes. We
yes.
need people like you to for teach us how to make the correct pronunciation. So keep
Well,
doing it,
well, see,
please.
a lot of the thing is most people who speak English just do it, and we don't. And it wasn't
Yes.
until I started teaching that I actually had to start thinking about what I was doing, so I could explain it to other people. And it adds a whole new dimension when you're like, wow, so that rule only applies in a couple places, but and then you change it to this, and then you have to, and it's just okay. Anyways, so back to what we were going to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, so kind of a continuation from our last lesson. Um, I want you to tell me. So, if I come to Brazil, um, is there a better time of the year to come where there's a festival or special events? What would you recommend?
Oh, good question. So, and I highly recommend you or everyone visit Brazil because, yes, I think our country is wonderful. But the most special month of the year and
Hey,
the
hey,
most
hey, hang on. It's not the most special. It's the most
the
special.
most yes the most special month of the year, and usually foreigners like to choose this month to visit Brazil is February because we have the most important event here in Brazil, and it's called Carnival. So this is the most famous event here in Brazil, and it happens every year in February and sometimes also in March. And usually this event long lasts for 2 weeks, and there's a lot of good music, good food, good music, and people. Yes, people are crowding,
Okay,
crowding,
I want to
in the
stop you for a second. Say and.
and
Okay. You're saying
yeah,
you're saying now it's your tongue position. Okay? T and D are very similar. Okay? Go back, use your tongue a little bit farther back when you go up to the roof of your mouth. Okay? Cuz
and
you're saying like ant instead of
oh,
and.
and a little bit more,
Yeah,
and right,
and
and and
say duh.
the the the
Okay? You've
and
right, that's a little better. Cuz it's very simple like L, T and D are just different parts of your tongue touching the roof of your mouth. Okay?
L D and T.
Right, so la 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 la, ta 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 ta. La is right up behind your front teeth. T is
La la
back a
la
little bit,
la 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 la.
right?
Oh,
T is
a little close to my T, right?
right. T is back a little bit. Ta 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 ta.
Ta 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 ta
And
ta ta
D
ta
and D you actually use a bit farther back on your tongue. Duh, duh, duh.
the the Yes, I need to practice a little bit those tongue exercises.
Yes. Well, and see, I have a lot of videos out that are English, basic English, where I'm teaching the proper movement of the tongue and everything to make these sounds. So I just wanted you to be aware when you're saying and, it sounds more like a T than a D.
Yes, really. And, and with D, right?
Right.
And, not and,
Right.
and.
Ant is a little bug that crawls around, you know? Yeah. I'm just Disney made a movie about them or something. I don't know.
Yes. And I have been watching your pronunciation videos and I have been learning a lot. So it's really good. And I recommend everybody to watch it because they are really good.
Thank you very much. So, anyways, continue on. You were talking about Carnival?
Oh, yes. So there's a lot of music and good food and also a lot of singers in bands. So the government usually hire a lot of artists and important bands here in Brazil. And there's a lot of free shows for people, free concert for people to watch it on the street. So it's a really good event. And also there's a parade, right? People dress in costumes and like making some presentations. It's really, really good. It's a competition. It's like a huge event. And at the end of this event, there's a committee or judge, right? And they select the best presentation. So it's a really good event. And I really like it. So I'm really suspicious to talk about because I'm a Brazilian. So
No, you're not suspicious.
oh, what is the correct word?
Okay, suspicious is like somebody's doing something wrong and you're suspicious of them. Okay, so you would be excited or enthusiastic to talk about it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
Yeah.
but suspicious is like I think somebody's doing something wrong and I'm suspicious of them.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. So when I come to visit Carnival, what type of food should I enjoy?
Oh, good. So we have a lot of not healthy food. Yes. This is not
whoa. Hey, hang on. Unhealthy.
unhealthy. Yes, unhealthy food. Yes, so a lot of unhealthy food. So this is not the best moment for you to follow your diet. Yes. It's the moment for you to enjoy everything here because a lot of those foods that people are selling here in Brazil during the carnival are fried food. So this is why this food is unhealthy.
Nice. I actually eat all fried food, so I can't.
I like it
And
a lot. So.
well, no, I find it very healthy, but that's a special kind of diet, right? Now, are there special coffees? Any special coffees in Brazil?
Oh, so yes, we have a lot of different types of coffees here in Brazil, but I am not the best one to explain for you about coffees. I like coffee.
Whoa. I'm not the best one to explain it to you.
To explain it to you because I'm not like a coffee specialist, but I like to drink coffee. And here in Brazil, we have a lot of different types of coffees, like a variety, wide range of coffees. But if I need to tell you something about coffee, I would say, let me think about it. Yes, I don't understand too much about coffee. Yes, I just like to drink it and that's it. Like strong coffee and that's it. So, yeah.
Okay, so you usually wouldn't say you can, but it's not typical. So you usually wouldn't say I don't understand. Usually people would use something like I don't know a lot about coffee.
Yes, I don't know a lot about coffee.
Yes. Very good. Very. I've had Brazilian coffee once. I used to work for a man. The owner of the company was from Brazil.
Oh,
So when
nice.
so when he
And
went
how
to,
was it?
it was
This
nice.
coffee?
Well, it was very strong, like and not strong in flavor, but the caffeine was way higher than what we usually get here.
Yeah,
It's like,
good for
okay,
you to
I'm
have
awake for
a
3 days
more
now.
energy. Yes.
Yes, and it's actually interesting. When I started teaching English, I started teaching Vietnamese people. So Brazil is the biggest coffee exporter in the world,
Yes,
and
you were right.
and Vietnam is the second biggest in the world.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Interesting.
And they have coconut coffee where they put coffee on ice cream.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I know. I got to go try some of their.
It sounds good.
Yeah. They have some very different ways of serving coffee. So I'm very curious to take a trip there after I do Carnival, because that sounds like fun.
Yes, you should. Yes, you should.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Again, I'd like to remind my viewers to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video where we will have a different conversation.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Bye.